Welcome and thanks for joining us on this edition of National Focus. I'm Jarna Hector. Coming up, road upgrades to form a major part of the Roseau transformation plan. The Dominican economy continues to enjoy noticeable benefits from the growing cruise industry. We'll bring you a special report. And the Dominica Festivals Committee collaborates with other partners to present exciting jazz and Creole fringe events. Stay tuned for details of these and other stories after this.
The black Sikatuka fungus can survive on banana and plantain leaves even after they have been cut from the tree. Farmers and hucksters are encouraged to use alternate cushioning material when moving produce from farm to the market. Do not use banana and plantain leaves as cushioning. It is against the law to move banana and plantain trash from the field. Obey the law and stop the spread of black Sikatuka today.
Thank you for staying with us. Road and drainage upgrades are a large aspect of the proposed design for the new city of Roseau, which was revealed to stakeholders on Tuesday at the State House Conference Room. The complete overhaul of the city streets will mean improved traffic flow and centralized utility and drainage systems. The proposal is such that utility lines will be removed from view to beneath the streets. This arrangement will allow for a 50-year capacity. The design was presented by Ian Fields, Chief Infrastructure Consultant at 3S Bridges NSG.
You've got a sidewalk which is really too wide, and it's fundamentally a waste of space. You're underutilizing space in a city where you're very hemmed in and you're very cramped. So we've also got a drain which is taking up a fair amount of available space, and we're seeing that cars are having to park so far out. And the situation is repeated on the other side. I apologize for the scale, but we'll get into some other slides on this. So essentially, if you're able to get these drains out of the way, bury these drains, and have a standard or more regularized width of sidewalks, we can create additional parking spaces.
Fields also illustrated the proposed solution to the current arrangement.
So what we're talking now about is moving these side drains, these open culverts, into a centralized location underground, obviously sizing that for the appropriate conditions, and replacing those long open culverts on the side of the road with drainage gullies. So they would be at defined points along the road. Those would be covered over as a traditional drainage gully. We'd then be raising the sidewalks. So obviously we're getting good delineation and separation from the vehicles on the road, from the pedestrians, and that also acts as the trap for the water as it flows down the street down to the next gully. The next part of the equation is to utilize duct banks under the street for carrying whatever services have been defined for that area. So that might be telephone, electricity, cable TV, additional fiber optic, and again we said that there would be a requirement for future capacity, so you would want to ensure that additional services could be installed at a later date. Once all that is done, we can then get rid of some of the overhead telephone and power cables, etc., and then the poles will disappear. So having done that, you can see the vehicles now able to take a little bit more use of the available space.
Traffic congestion along the Goodwill Road was also addressed. The proposal suggests that backups occur when vehicles wish to turn right across the next lane and onto secondary streets. The solution involves a horseshoe bypass.
What we've developed here is a system of what we would call horseshoes, which allows for a continual flow of traffic. We do not have conflicting traffic movements. There isn't a car moving across the front of another car like a T by implementing this system. So starting at the north, at the port entrance here, I think everyone's familiar with the port entrance. Essentially what we can do is build this horseshoe shape. Basically think of it in terms of half a roundabout. And between here and the point to the south, which is down near the Goodwill Savannah Park area, playing fields, we would have 4 lanes. So we know we've got 2 lanes coming in from Canefield here. That would transition here into 4 lanes. So anybody coming from the north who now wants to go up towards the college They wouldn't be able to execute this right-hand turn here. They would have to come up here, and they would be able to make this turn here. And as they make this turn, they are now not conflicting with the traffic coming in. They're coming in parallel. And we've got sufficient transition distance from here to allow that car then to move over. 2
pedestrian overpasses would also be necessary. Suggestions for alternative spaces for bus stops and parking were also proposed. Honorable Rayburn Blackmore is Minister for Public Works.
When we came into office, one of the things that we did was to undertake what we call a road audit. And that gave us an appreciation as to the state of our main roads, as to the state of our secondary roads, as to the state of our feeder roads. And in aggregate, we have 320 kilometers of main roads. And based on that audit, only 25% of our main roads were in fair condition. Let me say it again for emphasis. Only 25% of our main roads were in fair condition. We then put together what we call a sectoral plan with a time horizon of 2020, by which, if you were to follow a particular methodology, we were getting the road into 100% excellent condition. Further to that, we said by 2015, 60% of our roads, our main roads, will be in excellent condition. As I speak with you this morning, we have gotten to the point of 65% of our main roads are actually in excellent condition.
We'll bring you more from the conceptual design of the transformation of the city of Roseau in subsequent newscasts. In other news, the Dominican economy continues to enjoy noticeable benefits from the growing cruise industry. Tanya Green has more in this report.
Dominica's cruise industry is continuing to see steady growth, with the Ministry of Tourism confirming that the 2013-2014 cruise ship season saw an increase of 32.8% in cruise passengers to the island.
We have had good reports from our stakeholders in terms of business. Throughout the season, we've noticed a cruise ship in port basically every day, and that has been very good.
In 2012, the island saw 128 ships call into port, with a total of 212,316 passengers. In 2013-2014, the year under review, Dominica welcomed 195 cruise ship calls, an increase of 23.4% to the previous year. As it relates to actual tourist arrivals, there was an increase of 281,933 passengers, an increase of 32.8%. You will recall that in 2010, Dominica's cruise industry suffered a major blow as a result of the decision by Carnival Cruise Lines to pull out from the island after serving the destination for 21 years. One tourism official is now saying that while the cruise industry is still suffering from the effects of that decision, the island's cruise sector is not doing too badly.
We are not here where we would like to be as we were in 2010. Upon the pullout of Carnival in 2010, we lost a ship that gave approximately 40 calls per year, so that has drastically reduced our amount. We are not yet there, as I said, because we have not yet replaced the summer ship. But the ships that we have, the calls that we have throughout this season have been very good, and they continue to be increasing, as you see from the numbers.
Kathleen Cuffey of the Discover Dominica Authority was quick to add that this year's cruise activity generated good economic returns for Dominica.
In terms of spend, on average it's about 90 EC per person, cruiser spend. And again, the numbers, you have 2,000 passengers on a ship and they spend 90,000, the numbers add up and you see the multiplier effect. The vendors, the tour guides, the taxi drivers, even the person on the street selling a Kubuli Bay, they benefit from that. The side passes that are sold, so the numbers, yes, it's small, it's $90 per person, but that number it multiplies because the numbers are huge.
Quite apart from the revenue being generated, visitors continue to take advantage of the many attractive sites.
They're also quite accessible to the cruise visitors because, you know, the time on island is very limited. So certain sites, for example, a cruise person may never necessarily get to go to the boiling lake because it's 6 hours. So we try to get sites for them, or make sites available for them that are easily accessible and that they can go to there within specified time and come back.
To complement the existing highly visited sites, the Ministry of Tourism is seriously looking to develop other nature sites across the country.
So we try to ensure that there are new and exciting things happening. So now we're looking at another couple of sites like the Spani Falls. It's being developed now in terms of accessibility. The Jaco Falls, the Sultan Falls in Poncasi area. So these are new areas.
A number of existing sites will also be enhanced to guarantee even greater visitor experience. We are being told that the reviews from the passengers about their experience on the island have been encouraging.
The feedback from the passengers were very good. They're very happy about the type of cultural entertainment that is put in place for them, because they think Dominica is known to be a hospital location, very warm and friendly person. So the musical entertainment that's provided for them upon arrival on Dominica, that in itself impacts positively.
While feedback from cruise visitors about Dominica is good, the tourism official admits that there is no place for complacency. The Discover Dominica Authority will continue to make available training opportunities for stakeholders in the industry.
Some of them have started already. As we speak, we have a tour guide training for Spanish, in Spanish. We have vendors training, we have taxi drivers last week, and we'll also be having some in the summer months. So we want to take this opportunity during the slow months to just reiterate what it is that persons have to do, what their roles, the various roles that they play, and to just let stakeholders realize that they are ambassadors for the tourism product in Dominica and that they have to provide good service.
The government of Dominica, through the Ministry of Tourism, will also continue to negotiate with new cruise lines about the possibility of doing new business with Dominica.
There's a cruise conference coming up in October. It's one of the premier cruise events, especially for the Caribbean islands, and Dominica will definitely participate and be able to position ourselves again to those new lines, cruise lines, those that are coming to increase their calls.
For National Focus, I am Tanya Green reporting.
Thank you, Tanya, for that report. Every year, the Roseau Library and branch libraries of Dominica use Library Week to promote their services and, importantly, encourage youth and adults alike to read more. This year's observance commenced with a short ceremony at the Roseau Library on Monday, May 12th. Chief Librarian Magdalene Robin expounded on the theme of Library Week 2014, Read, Connect, and Explore New Worlds at Your Library.
Reading is necessary to be able to function in the information age, to be able to surf the internet. There is vastly more to read now than ever before, and we need to be able to sift through all this information and quickly if we are to make sense of all that information which is so readily available. We must be able to read just to get by in this world. How else would we fill out all our travel forms, read directional signs, read your prescription or your labor contract, follow directions in a manual, check your email or your Facebook account? Therefore, reading is important to acquire new ideas, to obtain needed information, to broaden our interests, to follow directions, for self-improvement and enjoyment. And these are just a few of the many reasons why we should be able to read and why we should keep on reading. Our libraries offer more than just books. They hold a wealth of information in various formats and mediums which must be explored so that you can discover what you need. You may even discover something of interest which you did not even know that you needed.
Robin went on to explain that the local library connects all types of readers to the world and to each other. The chief librarian made a point of noting that, contrary to popular belief, libraries are not outdated.
Libraries are not just buildings, nor are they just places for popping in to get a book. Libraries enrich people's lives by providing opportunities to access a vast array of ideas and information. They are places for education, enjoyment, and self-help. They are community spaces that provide access to local and global information, both in print and online. They provide public access to the internet and assistance with interpreting the accuracy and relevance of such results. Let us make use of our libraries, for even as they preserve the record of human existence, they also build technology skills, provide lifelong learning opportunities, and sustain democracy. So as we celebrate Library Week, Let us take the opportunity to read, to connect, and to explore new worlds.
Representing the Ministry of Education and Human Resource Development was Honorable Kelva Daru. Honorable Daru believes that persons should read for pleasure, but also because it's necessary.
When we think of reading, we usually think of reading for pleasure, but we must also think of reading because of necessity. Reading is necessary for understanding the world around us, for developing critical thinking and comprehension skills, and for getting a job. The theme also suggests that connections take place at the library in many ways. While you may connect on a personal level, you can also connect through available technology, and this technology allows you to explore new worlds, new concepts, and new information.
Additionally, Honorable Daru reiterated government's plan to construct a new Roseau library. The acting minister confirmed that those plans are well underway. Parliamentary representative for the Roseau Central constituency, Honorable Norris Prevost, also addressed the crowd, advising readers to take advantage of the knowledge so easily available on the library shelves. Prior to Library Week, a photography contest also took place. It was won by Dailene Valmond. Haley Bruni came second and Ghana Harris won third place. In other news, as many as 18 of the best songwriters and music producers from across the OECS participated in a regional songwriters work camp over the weekend at the Atlantic Resort and Spa in Anse-des-Mets. The OECS Competitive Business Unit, the CBU, hosted the 3-day work camp from Friday, May 9th to encourage greater collaboration among writers, producers, and artists, as well as to enhance their writing skills. Business Development Officer of Creative Industries in the Export Development Unit, Sobers Esprit, explained that the work camp was of great importance since creative arts play an integral role in the development of Dominica's economy.
We think that the creative industries, and we are referring here to music, to audiovisual, film, to fashion, to dance, to publishing, to fashion, handicraft. We believe that these areas of activities hold great importance to the survival of our economies and our people, and in particular to our creative people. And so the work of the OECS over the last several years has been to see how we can better position that sector in this evolving regional and global economy.
The 3-day camp, funded by the 10th European Development Fund, the EDF, was facilitated by a group of leading music producers and mentors from across the region, many of whom are well known in the global music industry. One such individual was mentor and Canadian songwriter Rupert Gill, who shared his sentiments of the music industry.
I truly think that music is a spiritual thing, you know. And when you're in a room and if you let the Spirit of God kind of guide you through your writing, that's where success comes. And the reason why I'm saying this is because, like, a lot of people that don't know me might not know this, but every time I have a writing session, no matter where in the world I go to write, before I leave my hotel room or if it's my house if I'm home, I always go down on my knees and I pray to God to give me inspiration to write. We're just receiving things from the Almighty. And if we remember that, that's where success will come with whatever we do in our lives.
The Songwriters Camp resulted in the production of a compilation of songs to be distributed to regional and global music audiences. The camp, which began with a formal opening ceremony on Friday, 9th May, ended with a showcase on Sunday evening. In more news, Dominica's ambassador to the United Nations, His Excellency Vince Henderson, has applauded Dominica's Prime Minister, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, for what he describes as visionary leadership. The ambassador, the former parliamentary representative for the St. Joseph constituency, told DLP supporters last week that the Dominica leader should be commended for taking bold decisions in the interest of Dominicans.
Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, the political leader of the Dominica Labour Party, has shown us that he has the ability to make bold decisions for the benefit of Dominica. And you know that. Do you know that? You remember a few months after taking office, at the age of 32, the Prime Minister stood head and shoulder amongst giants. He left Dominica in March of 2004 and he went to establish diplomatic relations with the People's Republic of China. That was done at a time when a lot of people were fearful. There were a lot of doubts in people's minds. But today, 10 years later, we can all see that indeed, that was the right move for Dominica. That is leadership at work.
Ambassador Henderson says the launch of the Yes We Care program speaks volumes of the character of the Dominica leader.
For me, that is a signature program of Roosevelt Skerrit, the man, the person, the leader. Because it is a true demonstration of his compassion. His love for people who are not being cared for. His love for the elderly. His love for the forgotten. His love for the vulnerable in society. Now, you don't expect somebody that doesn't smile to do that. You don't expect somebody who doesn't greet people because he don't know them or maybe they don't know him. You don't expect that person to do that. But it takes someone with a big heart. Someone who wakes up every day determined to make life better for the people of Dominica. And it takes Roosevelt Skerrit.
And finally, this news time, a live jazz sunset cocktail at the Sham in Picard, Portsmouth on Sunday, June 1st will kick off fringe events leading up to this year's Jazz and Creole, carded for June 8th at the Cabarets in Portsmouth. The fringe events were presented to media representatives during a press conference on Wednesday at the Alias Fosses building. The live jazz sunset cocktail at the Sham will be held from 2 to 4 p.m. On Wednesday, 4th June, the activities will move to the Evergreen Hotel for the Pan and Jazz Soiree from 7 p.m. until. Meantime, on Thursday, 5th June, the Anchorage Hotel will present Word Song the Power Jazz and Creole edition.
Jazz and Creole is upon us again, and it was definitely something that was put on our calendar a long time ago as one of our priority events for the year. And what we tried to do really was create an event that was very jazzy but also very Creole. And so we're going to have two main acts, one being primarily the jazz act and the other the Creole act. Erica Alexei will be a young up-and-coming jazz artist from Barbados, and she will be one of our highlight acts for the night, as well as C Square. C Square is going to be the Creole act, and we hope to also have we want people to have a good time. It's our Thursday night barbecue dinner, and we also want it to be a festive environment, something that people can enjoy.
That event at the Anchorage is scheduled to begin at 7 p.m. and will run until midnight. On Friday, 6th June, the Fortune Hotel will host the Creole Jazz Happy Hour from 5 p.m. to midnight.
They will be featuring a taste of Malo Rosado and his trio. Not the entire set, but just his trio will be performing at the Fortune Hotel on Friday night. And they will also have Earth Island songs with Joy Stout, and also Golda will be performing. $15 entrance.
On Saturday, June 7th, the activities will move to the Riverstone Bar and Grill for Riverside Jazz and Creole from 2 in the afternoon.
On Saturday, we go over to Riverstone at Bells for Riverside Jazz and Creole. That starts at 2 p.m. and as Natalie said, they'll have some traditional Creole and some jazz. Mikel will be presenting her jazz set, and Chubby, Co, and Victor of the Midnight Groovers will be doing a Creole set. Their price is only $20, and they have a shuttle service available for persons coming from the Roseau area and also persons coming from the Northeast.
Dominica's Jazz and Creole is presented by the Discover Dominica Authority and is held annually on Pentecost Sunday. The event is a means of attracting to Dominica visitors from the neighboring French islands as well as the wider Caribbean. It serves as an avenue for showcasing local jazz artists as well as foreign acts. Organizers of Jazz and Creole are expecting a bumper crowd at the June 8th event at the Cabarets.
Last year we had over 1,500 people. This time we're expecting to have over 2,000 people. Our health, safety, and security is going to take on a mini World Creole Music Festival shape. So be aware from now that the dynamics have changed. Jazz and Creole is really growing. It's really a festival, and we want to make it as safe and as comfortable for everyone.
This year, organizers will offer greater incentives for parents to take their children to the event.
We also are growing the children's section this year. They're going to have a whole section by themselves with just more than the bouncy castle, more than face painting. So you can bring your children and enjoy the space with your blankets and, you know, a real jazz affair this year.
J. Astafan and Company Limited is once again this year partnering with the Discover Dominica Authority to present Jazz and Creole.
Appleton rum, one of the world-leading rums, distilled and blended by Ray and Nephew in Jamaica, and local agents J. Astafan and Company are again proud to be a part sponsor of the 2014 Jazz and Creole. This is our third time partnering in this event. We believe this event is important as a cultural and tourism product, and we are happy to help in any way to make this a success. To all our patrons, we're appealing to you to come and enjoy the unique taste of Appleton rum whilst you relax to some jazz music.
Jazz and Creole will be held in the casual atmosphere of the Cabrit National Park, where patrons will be afforded the opportunity to mingle in the relaxing ambience of one of Dominica's major tourist attractions. And that's the English news. McPherson St. Luce is next with the Creole highlights.
Hello tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non, moi, c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, Premier ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt, c'est chef d'une délégation gouvernement qui a visité People's Republic of China. Visite ça là, c'est pour avancer discussion où le gouvernement voulait pousser devant et puis construction base avion internationale ensemble et puis d'autres projets de développement. Premier ministre Skerritt a annoncé semaine passée que le gouvernement était qu'à pousser devant plusieurs projets en parmi base avion internationale. Ça fait où là on compte que bâtir, courir pour continuer l'année et puis après mettre vivre en l'armée Dominique. Premier ministre Skerritt voyager et puis secrétaire cabinet Steve Ferrol et chairman Aid Bank Martin Charles. Ministre Telecoms Honorable Ambrose George qui a une position comme premier ministre. En autre nouvelle, en présentation manière ville Roseau qui transforme sur le plan gouvernement pour Ville Salam pour place en caille l'État mardi. Ian Fields Horde Bridges NSJ présenté des zines pour un Roseau qui est bien moderne. Acting Premier Ministre Honorable Ambrose George et Ministre Public Works Honorable Raymond Blackmore fait parole à ce compte gouvernement qui a concerné le projet là. Ministre Blackmore bien plaisir pour désigner là.
Nous mettons l'entrée aussi en Roseau pour augmenter le chemin là et le barrage drain. Ça nous a fait aussi c'est bâtir un pont neuf, qui est West Bridge là, qui fait plus gros, plus meilleur. Pour mettre un bypass en gardens là pour arriver en Bath Road, un barrage comme ça. Pour faire cité là, une cité belle, qui est plus moderne. Plus meilleur en Caraïbes là. Sans barrage, nous bien sérieux compte en Dominique. Et bien aussi, ce gouvernement Dominique bien sérieux barrage pour développer Dominique.
En d'autres nouvelles, plusieurs artistes et puis monde qui a fait production musique tout mon pays OECS participaient à un camp qui prend place en l'occasion Atlantic Resort en 11 mai semaine passée. OECS CBU organisé avant le Salam hors du 9 pour le 11 mai l'année 2014. Quand même si l'on a parole qui sorti, comme ça là c'était pour encourager plus collaboration entre monde qui a fait production travail ensemble. Officier Business Development Export Sobers Esprit fait parole comment comme planter autant important puis art créative qu'a joué un pas autant significant en économie dominique. Comme ça là qui était financé en bas programme European Union, était facilité par officier production musique hors régional. Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelles en créole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson, c'est Luce. Voilà.
Is peanut butter healthy or just tasty? Find out next.
In-studio discussions, insight, Creole News, Road to the Throne, Calypso, Creole Festival, Carnival, and lots more local programming. See it all on the Government Information Service, your first for local news.
Besides boasting a healthy dose of protein, peanut butter is extremely rich in monounsaturated fats, the healthy variety that can prevent heart disease and is less likely to be stored as body fat. Don't even consider buying light or low-fat peanut butter because when manufacturers eliminate the fat, they almost always replace it with more sugar. The best use of peanut butter is paired with a high-fiber food like apples or celery stalk. It's a fact, everyone's favorite childhood food can play an important role in an adult diet. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Friend us on our Facebook page and be sure to like our GIS Dominica fan page. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. For the GIS News team, I'm Jarna Hector. Thanks for watching.